materially or otherwise. But the material aspect of life is not the only aspect. There are so many areas that the European can never conquer because it's Africa. You know, and I'm not suggesting that the material is stronger than the spiritual or anything, but there is something here. Look, the European has been here for 500 years, let's say, and one would expect that when one came to Africa, one would not find anything that is African. But you come here and you still see so many things. I tell my students, Africa has changed. And I quickly follow it up with a statement, Africa has not changed.
How do you mean that?
Yeah, Africa has changed, Africa has not changed. That is the reality of Africa, which is to say, some aspects of Africa have changed, but some aspects of Africa have not changed. Because what is true never changes, it's the same. It may be expressed in another form, but you know, the European will only looks for material things to fill his belly, very materialistic. But that's not all of life. You don't need, you know, there are other things that you need that are equally important. So the culture, the value systems and so on, and some of this hidden, you say hidden because not too many people know it. People able to talk, to plan, understand the, you know, and change into certain animals and use certain powers to do certain things, you know. I mean, all these things beat the imagination of the European. But it's only because the European has limited knowledge. You see, there's so many ways in which the European is just a child. I describe Western culture as a teenage culture because it just appeared on the face of the earth. So they must have the best, the biggest, you know, the most of everything. But all the mature civilizations are sedate, quiet, not loud, African, Native American. We've been here too long to not to learn anything, you see. And what I'm saying can be seen in the life of every individual from childhood to maturity. How many loudmouth old people have you seen? And how many loudmouth teenagers don't you have in your neighborhood? They don't know anything. That's what European culture is like. It's a very recent culture. It has taken aspects from everything. I mean, what claim does Europe have on Egypt? Well, they've taken from Egyptian culture and they tell Africans, you don't have any claim on Egypt. That's nonsense. Who created Egyptian civilization? It was Africans, not Europeans. There was no European anywhere then to create anything. So a recent arrival comes and says, oh, you don't have anything. I tell you, you know, I tell you where you came from. Well, here we have a lot of stories about beginnings, you know, and some people say, well, our ancestors came from the ground. Oh, there's nothing like ghosts. If there are ghosts, we should be able to photograph them. I said, well, you see, you only photograph a palpable object. You can't photograph a ghost. You need a different equipment, and you don't have it. And so you use the same equipment for everything. So if you don't capture it, oh, it doesn't exist. But you don't think that your equipment is limited. See, we have a different equipment for detecting ghosts.